A good income should make life feel easier, but for many people it does not. A NerdWallet survey found that 38% of American households earning over $100,000 a year said they were living paycheck to paycheck. That tells us something important. Earning good money and building financial security are not the same thing. You can earn more than you ever have and still feel as though every paycheck disappears. Not because you bought one coffee, not because you're hopeless with money, and not because you need another budgeting app. Often it comes down to a handful of habits that prevent income from turning into savings, lowering debt, assets, and real breathing room. If you earn a decent income but still wonder why you are not further ahead, this episode will show you 5 places to look. The point is not to blame, it is to find the habit that is costing you the most, because the goal is not simply to earn more. The goal is to keep enough of it to create security, margin, and future options. The first habit is lifestyle creep. You receive a raise, and almost immediately the money is absorbed. A better car, a larger home, more subscriptions, more convenience, more eating out, more upgrades that once felt optional but gradually became normal. None of these things is automatically wrong. The problem is that your lifestyle can expand at exactly the same speed as your income. You earned more, you spent more. Your standard of living improved, but your financial position barely changed. Here is the financial literacy distinction that matters. Income is what you earned. What matters is how much of each increase you keep and direct towards debt reduction, savings, and investing. Imagine your income raises by $10,000. At the end of the year, your savings have not increased. Your debt has not fallen. Your investments have not grown any faster. And your emergency buffer is unchanged. You earned more, but financially the raise produced no lasting asset. It only funded a more expensive version of the same month. The solution is to decide what a pay rise will do before your lifestyle absorbs it. Choose a portion for your current life. Choose a portion for debt reduction or a buffer. And choose a portion for your future. The exact percentage will depend on your situation. The important part is making a decision before the extra money becomes invisible. Be honest. Think about the last meaningful increase in your income. Did it increase your financial security? Or did life simply become more expensive? That answer tells you whether your income is building something or merely passing through. The second habit is paying the minimum and assuming the debt is being handled. A minimum payment has one job. It keeps the account current. It is not necessarily designed to get you out of debt quickly or cheaply. If you only know the balance and the minimum payment, you do not yet understand your debt. You also need to know the interest rate, how much interest was charged last month, whether the balance is actually falling, and what payment would clear it within a time frame you realistically maintain. This is basic debt literacy. For each debt, write down 5 numbers: the balance, the interest rate, the minimum payment, the interest charge on the latest statement, and the payment you are actually making. Then look at the trend. Is the balance going down meaningfully? Or are the payments mostly servicing interest? This is where people can spend years feeling responsible because they never miss a payment, while the debt barely moves. You then need a repayment order. Some people prefer the debt avalanche, which targets the highest interest rate first. Others prefer the debt snowball, which targets the smallest balance first and builds momentum through fast wins. The best method is the one you understand, can afford, and will continue long enough to finish. But pay whatever the lender asks and hope for the best is not a strategy. If this is helping you look at your money differently, subscribe for more practical finance and intentional living videos. The third habit is treating every non-monthly expense as an unexpected surprise. Car registration, insurance, Christmas, medical appointments, pet care, home repairs, school costs, travel, replacing a phone or laptop. These costs may not happen every month, but many of them are completely predictable. If a bill arrives every year, the bill itself is not an emergency. It's an annual expense. And annual expenses need a different tool from genuine emergencies. An emergency fund is for costs that could not reasonably be predicted. A sinking fund is for costs you know are coming, even if you do not know the exact date or amount. Here is a simple calculation. Estimate an annual cost. Divide it by the number of pay cycles before it is due. That becomes the amount that you need to set aside from each pay. For example, if the expense is $1,200 and you have 12 months before it is due, Set aside $100 a month. The bill feels less dramatic when you stop pretending it belongs entirely in the month in which it arrives. This matters because emergency savings are already difficult for many households to build. Federal Reserve data showed that 37% of adults could not cover a $400 emergency completely with cash or its equivalent. If predictable bills repeatedly consume your emergency fund, the fund never gets the chance to become a genuine safety net. Look back at the last 3 financial emergencies you experienced. Were they truly unexpected? Or were they expenses that occurred irregularly but predictably? That distinction could change the way you plan your entire year. Habit 4, buying the item and ignoring the obligation. The 4th habit is looking only at the purchase price. A car does not cost only what you pay to buy it. It also costs finance interest, insurance, registration, fuel, servicing, repairs, tires, parking, and depreciation. A home is not only the mortgage payment. It can also include rates or property tax, insurance, repairs, maintenance, renovations, furniture, utilities, and the opportunity cost of the money tied up in it. Even smaller purchases can create ongoing obligations. A new device may need accessories, software, storage, insurance, and eventually replacement. A hobby may need equipment, transport, membership fees, and space in your home. The financial term for this is called total cost of ownership, and it is one of the most useful concepts in personal finance. Housing and transport account for more than half of the average household expenditure in the United States, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That means decisions about homes and vehicles can have a much larger effect on your future than dozens of small purchases. My own experience with van life and house sitting changed how I think about ownership. It made me much more aware that possessions and property can give you value, but they also ask something from you. Money, maintenance, attention, storage, responsibility. That doesn't mean ownership is bad. It means the decision should include the whole obligation. So before a significant purchase, stop asking only, can I afford to buy this? Ask, what will this cost me each year? How long will I carry that cost? What else will it require? And does the full commitment support the life that I want? That is financial minimalism in practice, not automatically owning less, fewer obligations that do not improve your life enough to justify their cost. Habit 5, measuring success by salary instead of financial position. The 5th habit is using income as your main financial scoreboard. Salary matters, but it only tells you how much money comes in. It does not tell you how much stays. It does not tell you how much debt you carry. It does not tell you how much cash you could access in an emergency. And it does not tell you whether your net worth is growing. A better scoreboard uses 4 numbers. Number 1, your liquid buffer. How many weeks or months of essential expenses could you cover if your income stopped? Number 2, your high interest debt. Is the balance going down? Is it staying the same? Or is it still increasing? Number 3, your wealth building rate. How much of your income is going towards savings, investments, retirement, or debt reduction? Number 4, your net worth. This is what you own minus what you owe. You do not need to calculate these numbers every day. For most people, reviewing them every 3 months is enough. What matters is the direction. Imagine someone earns $120,000 a year. That sounds financially successful, but her debt is rising. She has no emergency buffer, and her net worth has not moved in 3 years. In that case, the salary is supporting spending. It is not creating wealth. Now, imagine someone earning less. Her debt is falling, her buffers are growing, and her net worth is increasing steadily. She may look less successful from the outside, but her financial position is getting stronger. That is why financial literacy matters. A major financial literacy study published in 2026 found that adults answered only 47% of basic financial literacy questions correctly. Women scored lower than men on average. The same study found that people with very low financial literacy were more likely to feel financially fragile and constrained by debt. You do not need to know everything about finance, but you do need a scoreboard that tells you whether your income is becoming security. Your salary tells you what came in. Your financial position tells you what your money is building. Here is the practical next step. Take one sheet of paper and answer these 5 questions. 1. When my income last increased, where did that extra money go? 2. Do I know the interest rate and latest interest charge on every debt? 3. Which annual expenses am I still treating like an emergency? 4. What major purchase or commitment am I carrying without knowing its total annual cost? 5. Is my net worth moving forward, standing still, or going backwards? Do not turn this into a full financial overhaul. Answer the 5 questions honestly. Then choose the one habit that is costing you the most. That is your next move. If you're earning decent money but still feel trapped in the same cycle, start with Break the Debt Cycle. It is a free resource that helps you see where the cycle begins, identify what keeps pulling you backwards, and takes one practical step forward with greater stability. The link is in the description. A good income gives you potential, but potential is not the same as progress. Progress happens when your income starts producing something that remains after the month is over. Lower debt, a stronger buffer, assets, retirement savings, fewer obligations, and more choices. Which of these 5 habits is keeping you stuck right now? Lifestyle creep, minimum payments, predictable expenses, total ownership costs, or measuring success by salary? Write your answer in the comments. Next, YouTube suggests you might enjoy the episode on screen now, wherever that might be.